Stop listening to high-rank players. Why do I say this? Well, let me explain. High-rank players are usually people who either have a lot of time on their hands, are naturally good at video games, or have put a lot of time into learning this game. In the process of learning how to become a high rank, you end up developing fundamentals that you might not even realize you have. Things like proper positioning, when to back out of fights, and ult usage. Most of these things are done without much thought, and over time can cause someone at these ranks to forget that the lower ranks don't even know what these are. It's essentially the curse of knowledge. The better you get at something, the harder it is to remember not knowing. This causes a lot of players to become hostile towards lower ranks, claiming that Gold and Masters are completely different games, that you don't know anything about the game until you reach these ranks. I pose a middle ground. While yes, Masters and Gold are two completely different playstyles, I truly do believe that a Gold player can have the knowledge of a Masters player. It is instead these fundamentals that the Gold player lacks. Yet, pretty consistently, I see high-rank players give advice on things that require these fundamentals to even be applied. While yes, you do need to position properly in game, first, you need to know the map, know where the teamfight is going to happen, and position yourself according to that. No singular spot on a map can be considered good positioning consistently. And while rules like taking high ground and taking off angles are good advice for some, it can really harm players that don't understand how to apply those things. Say you're a Sojourn. Your goal is to take an angle that will hold good pressure and force an enemy team to crossfire. Yet, if you get told that a certain area is a good off angle, only to lack the mechanical skill to get there in a quick manner, you're going to end up spending a lot of the fight doing basically nothing trying to get there. Sure, high ground is really good on Widow or Ashe, yet a cast sitting on a far high ground is throwing. Along with this, each rank plays completely differently. It is not just that Gold and Masters are two different games, it's that Bronze is a different game than Silver, Silver is different from Gold, Gold to Plat, Plat to Diamond, etc. Each rank has its own playstyle that you have to learn in that rank to get out of that rank. There is no advice that applies to every rank equally, and most of that advice can even be harmful at certain ranks. Take King's Row as an example. On first point, in Gold, there is usually a team fight to take point, a team fight to push through the first choke, a team fight to push the second corner, sometimes even a second team fight in that corridor, and then a team fight to cap the second point. In Diamond, only 2 ranks away, there is a team fight on point, then immediately it skips to the first corner, completely removing the fight on the worst choke in King's Row. Then, the next team fight is usually either in the corridor or on the second point cap. This removes 2 whole team fights from the equation. This means a previously good position in Gold might be a completely inaccessible spot in Diamond. This also goes in the opposite direction. If you're a Diamond player and set up at your usual defense spot, you might be giving up a whole area of space in Gold. This is why I believe that direct high rank advice can hinder lower rank players. Sure, while the Diamond player can probably hold their spot even if they gave up the space, a Gold player copying that Diamond might throw the game by doing that. This leads on to my next point. Opinions. Most high rank players' advice is usually just the path that they took to get to where they are. I also want to mention real quick that some coaches don't count because they usually teach the fundamentals rather than just random advice. There are, however, a lot of people who try to coach and do just spout nonsense. Anyways, meaning that while they might have the ability to make it to GM by doing whatever they did, you might not be able to recreate that. Maybe they got lucky matchmaking and got a really good win streak that completely skipped having to do an entire rank, leading you to get stuck there if you follow their advice. The possibilities are endless with how much could go wrong by following someone else's direct advice. Another thing I see a lot of high rank players do is talk about their opinions. Whether this is about how good a character is, how good a character can be, how bad a character is, or even how a character should be reworked, these are all opinions. How so? Well, if a player is constantly fighting a really good group of Hanzos that stomps them every game, they might think that Hanzo is a broken character, when he's very obviously not. If you look anywhere else, you see how absolutely atrocious this glorified slot machine is. However, that player might go on to spout their absurd opinion and maybe happen to have a fan base large enough to make it seem like their opinion might just be a fact with how much it's being spread around. This is what I find a lot of low-rank fans of high-rank content creators do. They'll argue with you about how, oh, this person said this and therefore you're wrong because they are a higher rank than you, when in all reality, that content creator could be speaking genuine nonsense and their fan would still quote it. This inevitably is how the internet works. Misinformation will be spread, and if credible people spread it, it makes it a whole lot worse and more believable for the weak-minded. Now, this isn't saying that a low-rank player taking high-rank players' advice is weak-minded in any way. It is very easy to look at someone who made it to a higher rank and take what they say as true because, hey, they're a higher rank than you, they're doing something right, obviously what they're saying must be true. This is where I say, form your own opinion, and this goes for every single one of you out there. Don't just go off someone's word and roll with it because they have some status symbol behind them. Do research and find out if what that person said is true, especially if you're going to try and start an argument and use that as evidence. Now listen, I'm not going to name names because I don't want to start drama. I also want to say, if you do believe someone, go for it. Just please don't be a douchebag about it, and especially don't start arguments unless you know what you're talking about. On to my next point. Each rank has its own advice that works for that rank. A gold player might have very good advice for a silver player as they just got out of that. A plat player might have really good advice for a gold player, and so on. This means that most of the advice a grandmaster can give will probably only apply to masters or diamond. There are of course times where people understand that low ranks don't have these fundamentals, and these people can be very good at giving advice even down to bronze. But even then, there will never be someone better to coach than someone who just went through what they're coaching on. This means that a silver player will probably give the best advice to a bronze player. This leads me on to my next point. Really quick, if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to like and subscribe as it helps me out a ton, and head over to the Discord if you'd like to talk to your fellow fans. Alright, my next point is, don't just listen to advice that people give. This connects back to my opinion point. While something may have worked for someone, there is no guarantee that it will work for you. Another thing is, advice usually only applies to a certain hero. This is a little bit of a sidetrack, but a Ramatra main giving advice on ball will never give as good of advice as a ball main. And in the end, they might even end up giving advice that ruins how that person plays ball. Same goes for every other hero in the game. For this, I'll use myself as an example. I am a Ram main, Winston main, and Ball main. I don't play ball as much as I used to, so I'll just say Ram and Winston for simplicity. Along with this, I absolutely suck at DPS and support in comparison to how good I am at tank. I'm almost a master's tank, yet consistently I peak around high plat on both DPS and support. This means while I can give great tank advice, my advice for supports and DPS might even be more harmful than good. Along with that, my advice for a Sigma might only be a platinum level, yet I'm a high diamond tank. This means that while someone might be a high rank, that very rarely means that they are fit to coach at that high level of a rank. Sure, I'm a diamond tank, but I'd probably only be around a platinum coach if I were to coach. And even then, I don't play every support or DPS, therefore I probably wouldn't give platinum advice on every support or DPS. Now, what does all of this mean? Basically, if you're a soldier main following advice from someone who's a GM wrecking ball, that might not be the best way to go, especially if this person isn't a coach. This person got to where they are playing their hero. They might not know anything about how to play soldier, let alone how to play soldier at the current level that they're at. So please, if you're looking at someone's rank, look at who they play alongside that rank. Don't just look at someone's rank. This goes back to the fundamentals. Not all coaches are good at coaching all ranks. I'll use my coach as an example here. My coach is a top 500 support player. But since he wants to coach, he's learned enough about the other roles to be able to confidently teach them. However, while he's able to coach me at a diamond level, he's openly said that he struggles with coaching lower ranks as most of the advice he gives just doesn't apply in those lower ranks. Some coaches, however, try to coach these lower ranks even if they have no clue what they're talking about. Now, why would they do this? Well, it's simple. Money. Hell, if I got paid $95 to tell a bronze player a bunch of jargon that they won't understand, I would do it too. But even then, I could never bring myself to do that, as I know that they will think that they're the problem when my advice doesn't work. This also causes massive ego issues, where a low-rank player believes they know more than those around them, even if in reality they're gold still, and the advice that they think they know will never help them get to platinum. Now, what do I want you to take out of all of this? First, form your own opinion. Don't just listen to someone because they are a higher rank. Listen to yourself, find your own information, and kind of just merge it all into what you think is true. Second, try and search for coaching that applies to you if you even search for coaching. Don't just find someone who says they're a coach and roll with them. Find someone who has played your character and who is knowledgeable in the rank that you're in. That is, if you even need coaching. Do not get coaching if you don't need it. If you're actively improving or not dedicated to the game, coaching probably isn't for you, and it's probably just a waste of time and money. Third, make sure that before you argue, you fact check yourself, and this goes outside of just the game. I see way too many people, just in general, real life scenarios, arguing points that are either opinion based or just not true, because they heard someone say it, they heard it through word of mouth, some way they managed to get information that was incorrect. If you are in an argument with someone, if you have facts to back your claim and they do not, then just stop the argument. There's no reason fighting someone who is hard stuck on thinking that their opinion is correct, because no matter what you do, they will just get tilted and it will just cause anger. The other side of this is also true. If you are arguing a point that does not apply to anything or doesn't exist, or you try to change the topic to make yourself seem right, just stop. Learn when to admit you're wrong and your life will become so much easier. Anyways, enough of the philosophical talk. Lastly, spread love, not hate. Don't target anyone that is trying to coach. Don't point out when someone's wrong. Just leave people be. I do not intend this video as any form of hate. I purely wanted to bring attention to the amount of misinformation that is being spread to do with advice and how to get good at Overwatch. Anyways, with that, I think I've covered everything I wanted to. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day/night, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.